Okay, everybody, here we go. That was the sound stylings of what StreamYard likes to call into space. I don't know that Ed would necessarily approve, but I had to give it the old college try. It had a little bit of weirdness to it, which I think he might have liked. But he's much more for the drama, and that's what we're going to be doing here today, talking about the drama of alien invasion, science fiction, UFOs, and a lot more. Guys, I know we just wrapped up a Kickstarter last night. We are 12 hours away from finishing up the BD15 anthology last night, but now it's time for something new. This is something that I got wrangled into by my co-host in the green room. Some of you will know him if you're deep BDI people. You will know him from the Penny for Your Soul, Volume 1. What do they call it? Prelude thing, where someone talks about the book and the people that made it. And it's not the what the hell is it called, Micheal Dolce?
It's called The Forward.
The Forward. I'm stuck on the P's today. The P's. The P's. Micheal Dolce is here. The series creator here of the Planiverse.
Yeah.
And
well, it's funny you said wrangle. I mean, I think it was your idea.
Well, okay.
Like guys, you have this really cool thing. You should have like a plan universe. And and James Macia, who's the co-creator, is like the Planiverse. And we're like, okay, so
yeah. It
all kind of comes together.
I was going to let you say it before I said it, so it didn't sound like I was just taking all the
take the credit.
Take the credit.
There's nothing wrong with it. You get none of the royalties, but you get the credit.
That's right. I just want the credit. Yep. Guys, Mike and I have known each other for a long time.
Almost 20 years.
I mean, legitimately. Yeah. Well before I was making comics. This was when I was learning what the hell it means to make comics. I met Mike in Los Angeles at Wizard World, Los Angeles. That tells you how long ago it was right there.
Well, that's true.
That's the instant date. And I was just showing my crap around to people who were doing it. Mike was doing it with his own comics called The Sire and so on. And I was like, yeah, let me tell you what the hell I'm trying to do, and tell me how to do what you're doing. And Mike was great, and sat in on one of his panels, and that's here we are now 20 years later. Give them the Micheal Dolce spiel of who you are and where you've been and what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I've been creating comic books. I've been a professional in the comic book industry since 2001. I released myself. My debut comic was called Crossfire at the beginning. It got rejected from everywhere. So I went ahead and printed it anyway, because that's just what you do.
That's right.
Took a stint at Wizard Magazine to learn the industry a little bit better, and came firing back with The Sire in 2006. It's about a superhero forced by his own costume to fight evil. We're up to chapter 15. Actually, chapter 16 is in the works right now as well, too. And that'll be coming to Kickstarter early next year. And I've now successfully gotten some books published at Image Comics, Zenescope, and did some freelance work as well for a bunch of different things. And right now, thanks to my cohort in crime, James Macia, Dren Productions is very much alive and well and making awesome horror, sci-fi, fantasy books. And one of those awesome books is started out as Plan 59. Ooh, Plan 59 from Outer Space. And it was the preview. It was the sequel to Plan 9 from Outer Space, in which case Plan 79 was the sequel to the sequel. And now Plan 39 is the prequel to the sequel. So we've got it all kind of going, and we are going to launch this thing live. Tom, I'm going to let you do the honors. So Plan 39 was Tom's idea in the genesis of where it fits in the series, and it takes place in the 1980s. Plan 59 was set in the 2010s. So going 20 years before that was the 1980s.
Yeah.
And Plan 79 actually takes place in the year 2079, following the zomborific events of Plan 59.
Yeah, this was basically it was, I think it was my first year at San Diego when I was with Aspen. Ran into Micheal at a hotel after the con, and he was just chilling, and he had just launched, not to bring up the bad memories because it's all been successful since then, but he had just launched his Plan 10 from Outer Space campaign, and Kickstarter was new to all of us, and we were just kind of talking about it and like, yeah, this, that. And so I said, you know what you should do is relaunch, or not relaunch it, but rebrand it into and using the taglines like the worst Kickstarter ever launched, play into the old, Plan 9 is the worst movie ever made, play into that stuff. And Michael was like, yeah, that's a great idea, but I think it's a little too late at that moment in the campaign. And so everybody went on their way. And a handful of years later, I was doing Kickstarters and having some success with it. And I was seeing what else was happening on Kickstarter. And I bugged him again. I was like, whatever happened to that Plan 10 thing you guys had? I think this might be a good moment for it to come back and give it another try. Yeah. And I said, but here's the idea. What if instead of Plan 10, which I think someone's already done, I'm sure someone's already done it. What if we were to assume that the aliens just kept coming back? And so, if Plan 9 was in 1959, on and on and on and on through the decades, you can tell these stories. And if you should make this Plan 59 and it's successful, the doors open up and you can move anywhere you want to continue to tell these alien stories. And that was sort of the gist of the whole thing.
Yeah, and it was cool too, because at that point, when we first talked about Plan 10, you mentioned being new to Kickstarter. At that point, much later on, I mean, James and I had rattled off, a few successful Kickstarters. James especially, had we've kind of figured it out. Plan 10 was kind of, let's set our goal of, what we want to make money and pay our creators and blah, blah, and we'll just see if we can do it. And that was the wrong approach, because, the approach to Kickstarter now, at least for us, and I'm sure it's the same for you, is, it's not even just really, you're not really funding the book that you're kickstarting, you're funding the series, you're funding the next one and the next one. And that's really, because Kickstarter stopped becoming it is still a crowdfunding platform, but that's not what it's about. It's a place that people go to read new comics, to read indie comics, to get in on the ground floor of things. And so we have figured that out. Tom, you figured it out before us. And, but since then, I would say, Dren, now, in terms of the successfully launched, books that we've done, it's now just part of the group. And the cool part about the Planiverse too, we made the announcement 2 weeks ago. It was finalized around New York Comic Con. All the Planiverse books will now be in retail bookstores and the direct market via SourcePoint Press. So we actually partnered up. Dirk Manning, friend of Dren, loves the Planiverse, loves what we're doing. And so, it's Plan 59 will be the first book released through Dren, through SourcePoint Press, distributed by Simon & Schuster, distributed by Lunar. So we'll be everywhere. So the Planiverse just continues to grow. So Tom, we have a big thank you, for having those conversations. It's pretty exciting.
We're gonna launch this thing in about 10 minutes, guys, but we'll get a little bit deeper into what's going on. But I just want to say that I love that you guys took the idea and like literally just ran with it. You were just like, this makes sense, this works, like let's try this one, it worked, let's go again, it worked again, like, and then you came to me, you were like, so do you want to do 39? And I was like, that's the 80s, so that's a big yes, my friend.
Yeah. No, it worked out great. And also it was kind of cool with Plan 79. I got to tell you, I'm so super proud of Plan 79. I worked with a co-writer on that, Dennis Knight, who did a nice job of bringing my ideas to light. I just was juggling too many things. I couldn't write it, but I had an idea for it. And so I sent him my ideas. He added a couple of touches on his own, which I thought were really cool. But by the end of it, it's become my favorite story that I've done recently, because all the pieces just seem to fall in place. you know, I was thinking about like, how do I end this series? And I was like, wait, zombies, there's zombies everywhere. Of course, Ghoul is there. We're just going to have Ghoul show up. Ghoul is now the recurring character that's through it. This book too, Plan 39, is going to have a prologue from Plan 79 in it. So it's going to actually, you know, kind of bookend and connect to it. And Plan 79, after Plan 39 is done, I've already got the next book. It's Into the Cosmos, and it's continuing this storyline. So these things, you know, and I'm sure this is the same for you, Tom. When the idea is something special, it just kind of writes itself, and these things just kind of have written themselves. So we've now taken the look to the future. We'll get back to the future at some point, but going now, we get to look to the past, and there's nothing cooler than the 80s and the 90s. So this is the 80s version of the Plan universe. So exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And I went when so what you're seeing right here, this is the sort of prequel to what I wrote. I mean, I wrote this too, but this is the little 3-page little intro into these characters, these situations. I wrote this a while back for Mike and Dren to use whenever they needed to use it. And then this led into the series that you're now guys are going to come in and back now. But I did a deep dive into Plan 9, into Ed Wood himself, into all of the things that made Plan 9 what it was and what it wasn't in equal measure.
Yeah.
And all of that got put into that little prequel. But in all of those sort of you know, researching moments, you know, it just everything just kept building for me. Like, you know, this is what can be done, you know, with this book. Here's the team real quick, guys. This is of course that guy, you know, that guy, and then that guy. That's Ricardo Silva. He's the artist, guys. Artist up here and artist on the stuff you're about to see down below. And this is Ricardo Silva's cover. We'll go right to the thing right there. So Ricardo came in. He did those pages above. He'll do the pages. Actually, you know what? You said you put those pages in, didn't you?
Scroll up. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I have an old link, so I have to refresh this in order to get that stuff, I think.
Yeah.
I had to refresh that. Let me go back up here. Yep, there we go.
What I realized too is we have a special new price for that as well too. So I have to.
So here we go. This is the new stuff. This book is very 80s, very nostalgic, very Easter egg heavy. I'm curious as to what people see on this first page alone on these 4 panels. If you're watching, tell me what you see in any of those panels. We'll tell you if you're right or not. And then of course I'm a big fan of the X-Files. So if we're doing UFOs in the 80s, particularly the end of the 80s, we got to get the FBI involved. We got to talk about Project Blue Book. We got to talk about all of the things that happened since Plan 9. And we go really, really deep into this. Super, super fun. I mean, if you're not tapping into the Ed Wood nostalgia yet, do yourself a favor. Go watch the Ed Wood movie by Tim Burton. You're going to get there's by no means.
I'm actually a bigger fan of that than I am Plan 9.
Of course, absolutely,
you know
absolutely, I mean? Yes. But let's be clear: Ed Wood is not a linear, exact Ed Wood story either. It is a Tim Burton version of Ed Wood, but it will tell you a lot. It will give you some of the pieces, and there's a lot going on in this book that comes directly from that film as well as the original Plan 9. So here we are. Here's your covers, guys. Ricardo Silva in the outfit that I kind of pseudo designed, and then he fleshed it out for me. Very, very reminiscent of many things, again, from my childhood, but also it has the little lightning bolt, you know, which is the alien logo and things like that. So it's our thing. It's very 80s with the shoulder pads, but it also has a lot of 70s sort of stuff tied into it. Greg Bo Watson, of course, doing our alien hitchhiker off to Roswell.
Do me a favor, hit refresh, because that price on cover A should now be correct.
Okay.
Look at that, right? Instantaneous.
$15 for your basic book. There you go, guys. $15 for your basic book.
When you use a template and the same price is in the template, that price gets stuck, even though
yes.
you don't mean it to be there.
Absolutely. Greg Bill Watson, Alien Hitchhiker, going to Roswell. Brought over Pedro Perez. You guys know Pedro Perez from Big Dog Inc. We've got our little Han Solo homage in the arcade, the 80s arcade. Love this piece by Pedro. And then Keith Garvey doing his Nagel style, old school 80s Nagel style art with our lead character. And of course, there's a not safe for work version. Dun, dun, dun. If such things should float your boat. And then, of course,
a lot of people's boat. I got to tell you, it's you know. So one of the things we're doing at Dren, which is pretty exciting as well too, and the plan books fit into this, is we're coming up with what's called a Dren Prestige line, where we have established creators such as yourself that we really highlight. We've got books by Omar Morales coming out. He's a Comixology Originals creator. Jim Calpure is doing some covers for us, some real established comic book professionals. But one of the things we're trying to do also is trying to get away from just doing cheesecake stuff. That being said, people love it, so we're keeping it for the Kickstarters regardless. And when it goes to retail, we will have. So this is I'm just saying, this is your only chance to get this kind of not safe for work stuff. Only available on the Kickstarter.
There you go. PDFs available if you just want them on your tablet. You can get the previous books, 79 and 59 and 39 all together. Trade paperbacks, Planiverse, primer pack, digital. Get all of it in print. And of course, you've got all of your books in a super pack there that you can get them all together. So,
digital sampler.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. This is a very simple campaign. Very simple campaign. Digital. What is the deluxe PDF?
So we're going to have tons of bonus material. It's going to have all the covers as well, too. So the regular PDF just has the Silva cover. The deluxe PDF has all, 5 covers. And it will also kind of feature some cool behind the scenes stuff. We've got original artwork, the original uncolored stuff. We've got your original script. And we'll figure out some other stuff to throw in it when we get to that point.
Awesome. So there we go, guys. If you have any questions about this, let me know. We'll scroll back up here and give you a little sense of what's going on. So the story basically begins here in this first issue, where our lead character shows up on Earth for a little bit of intelligence gathering. As she's roaming around the city, as you can see in this early scene here, she comes across a video game arcade where she wanders inside, seeing these kids pushing buttons and using joysticks and so on, where she finds somebody playing a Missile Command game where she interprets it as either a training device or potentially an actual connected to something in the world that this kid is actually blowing stuff up. The little alien, of course, comes across the top. The kid just blows it up and cheers and says, "You don't communicate with aliens, you blow them up." And that's where she kind of is like, "We do not know enough about why we are here and what we're doing." Goes back onto her ship for a little powwow with something that I've added to this universe. That as I was kind of thinking about it, I was like, if we've had all of these plans, there's probably planners. So we have introduced the planners of this alien race. They're part of this book. And it looks great. Ricardo Silva, Gat Melvin on the colors, looks fantastic. Like I said, it is loaded with nostalgia and Easter eggs. And one of the things that we're going to do, folks, is, and we'll have to talk about how we want to do this, Mike, is we want to create a scavenger hunt for you guys to find all of the stuff that I have purposely put into this, whether it's a direct thing like these 4 elements right here on this first page, or whether it's just sort of things that are referenced. We'll have a scavenger hunt where you guys can find all that stuff and win cool prizes.
Winning cool prizes is the best.
I don't know what else there is. I mean, what else are we doing here?
I agree with you.
What else are we doing here?
I agree with you.
Yeah. So this is it, guys. This is it. So it's going to be, right now it's planned to be a 3-page book, 3-issue series. Good grief, 20-page book, 3-issue series. It might expand depending on what happens in some 2 and 3 writing. We might expand it to 4, but right now for sure 3, and then we'll see what else we got. So get ready, because we're about to launch it. If you have questions, let us know. I love that little the little meme homage right there in the middle with everybody can see that, right? We know what we're doing. We're modern, we're vintage, we're nostalgia, all in one panel there. Love it. So, and Ricardo's been really great. You can see this guy does not shy away from backgrounds and detail, and like he's like, yeah, go tell me what this world is, and let's go. I gave him all kinds of reference for Burbank in this time and space and so on. We use a different sort of timing mechanism. So instead of just saying like, oh, it's July 4th, like 1989, like we use things like there'll be a caption as you're describing where you are. It says like Michael Keaton is Batman. So like right where we are sort of in history. And the book itself is filled with history as well. Science fiction, history, real life.
Well,
history.
I love the first panel is the Battle of Los Angeles. That is like an iconic UFO. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, either way.
Now everybody knows. But yes,
now they would know anyway. As soon as they read it, they're going to know.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
But hey, look, it's the first thing we see, so I'm gonna reveal it. That is one of the most iconic. I'm a huge UFO guy, huge UFO buff. Well, I mean, I will consume any kind of UFO documentary, the Bob Lazars, the Ancient Aliens, all that stuff, and that is one of the things I love about UFO mythology is the stuff that came before media really jumped all over it. Even something like Roswell, New Mexico is not something that was really well known until Stanton Friedman wrote a book about it like 40 years after the fact and interviewed these people 40 years after the fact. But the fact that there's a newspaper headline that said we got a flying saucer. I remember watching Leonard Nimoy's In Search Of, and I forget how old I was. Maybe I was 12 or 13, and I was like, wait a minute, we actually caught a flying saucer, and we've actually said that we did. And then it turned out, obviously, that whether we did or did not, the government then quickly, denied that we did. But things like that, things like the Battle of Los Angeles photo, things like Aurora, Texas. I don't know if you know that story at all, where, they actually, again, you can look at these old newspapers and they're like, yeah, some airship fell, crash landed on someone's farm. There was a 3-foot tall alien, a Martian. They called it a Martian. And they gave it a Christian burial. And these are all things that you can actually go and I don't know where you can do this kind of research anymore. I don't know if you have the microfiche anymore, but these are things that people, UFO investigators had actually dug up, and this is before the taint that could be the internet, the taint that could be social media and mass media, to where you don't know what's real, what's not. Now with AI, forget it. I mean, you'll never know. This is stuff that was documented in our past. So I love the fact that you brought that kind of stuff in. When you said you did the deep dives, that's 100%, evident here. Yeah.
Super fun. It was really fun to do. And what was really funny is as I was doing this and writing this script, I got invited to be on a show about UFOs.
Nice.
out of the blue. He did not know that I was researching this stuff. He had no idea that I was doing any of this. He just knew that I liked sci-fi stuff and whatever. He was like, we're going to do this thing about UFOs. I was like, and Roswell, because it was like some sort of Roswell anniversary. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm so prepared. You don't even know. And that was a really fun. That was Tim Fling had me on his show, and that was really fun to do. So.
It's funny. I've been doing podcasting for a long, long time, but we've been on hiatus the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's through a company called Rogue Matter. Rogue Matter purchased my podcast a long time ago, and we were doing stuff through them. Every now and again, I keep thinking I want to do a podcast. I should get back into it. UFO podcast. I think I would be all over that, all over that.
Yeah. If you got the info, if you got it in your brain, you got the love of it. It'll come through.
Yeah, for sure.
Come through. Yeah. Guys, we're going to launch this in 3 minutes. 12:09.
And there you go.
12:09. 3 minutes. If you have questions, let us know. We're going to keep talking about this thing. I'm so you sort of answered my question here to a degree where I was going to go with this, which is what brought you initially to Plan 9 / I want to make a Plan 10. Like, what was your connection to that film that then you were like, okay, let's do more?
I could make up something really extraordinary and say it was some, thing that I've been dying
When
to
I was
do.
8 years old.
Right. No, it was at New York Comic Con many years ago, and James Masia, the co-publisher of Dren, was and the founder of Dren, basically was just like, hey, what's public domain? Plan 9. People know Plan 9. I love Plan 9. You want to do Plan 9? We could do a sequel. And I said, sure. I said we could do Plan 10, and instead of using zombies and werewolves and vampires to fight us, they could just literally just get us in our cell phone, and that was the entire basis. And this is, again, it's before cell phones, so I think it was like 2015. So cell phones were a thing. They were much more a thing than they were in the 2000s, but they weren't what they are now. To the level I'd say of what it is now.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that was the impetus. I just love the idea that cell phones were a virus that were sucking us in and making us zombies. So that was my contribution to it. James is one of the most prolific writers I've ever met and known. He will literally, and maybe it's because he's an English teacher during the day, and he has a lot of free periods to write. That maybe that's how he's doing it. I don't know, but he'll be like, okay, great. I'll come up with something. And like 2 days later, he has like a 60-page script. He's like, here it is. And then we worked, collaborated on the script together. And that was it. So, that's where it came from. Plan 79 was just, kind of almost a nod to Star Trek, Star Wars kind of, bent to it, which I've now, again, in the course of writing that book, and again, working with Dennis Knight on that original incarnation, I've now developed characters that I want to see continue beyond just, kind of, they're in the Planiverse, but they're Planiverse adjacent, and there's some storylines going on there that's going to be pretty exciting.
Okay. All right. So so the match actually came from Masia for this.
Oh yeah.
Not so much your love of the UFOs grew into this this
absolutely
thing.
And then, like I said, Ed Wood, that's a favorite movie of mine. I actually just really love, I love inside baseball stuff. So Ed Wood, to me is just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
12:09 on my clock. What's your clock?
12:09.
All right, let's do this.
12:09. Push that go.
Oh boy. Are you always nervous when you push the button? I'm always nervous to push the button. I'm going to do it anyway, though. Here we go. Boom. I'm ready to launch.
Boom. Go.
Yes, I've read all the details. Yes, I'm going to launch this project. Boom. 12:09. We are officially, drum roll,
launched.
Boom. Congratulations. Your project is live.
Launched, my friends. This is a short campaign, guys.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say we prefer it that way. I know some campaigns go longer, but when we did the 30-day campaigns, we found it's just more stress for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then it translates into anything huge. But what's exciting about it is, it gives you a good window to get in on this stuff very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And last campaign, Plan 79, both issues 1, 2, and 3, they were funded in 2 hours. So let's see if we can break that.
Amazing. Yeah, this is my first book with a Gregbo cover as well. When we were talking about putting people on and who's going to do what and where, I had a couple of guys that I threw your way, and you were game for them. I don't know if I knew who Keith Garvey was. I didn't know that you knew who Pedro was, but
Right.
And then you said that you guys had been using Greg Bow for a
We love
while.
Greg Bow and Gwen. Yeah,
Yep.
they're a great team, and I mean, they just knock these covers out of the park, man. They really do. Plan 79. There we go. We got our first pledge, $12. Boom.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful.
I love the real time updates. But yeah, they you had kind of suggested a design for this one, and they really knock it out of the park. They just do great work. We absolutely love working with them. They did all 3 variant covers for Plan 79. James actually is the one who found him online originally, and then he's been working with Gwen, the colorist, now almost exclusively. So they come as a nice package deal, and yeah, pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, they've been around. I know a lot of people that have worked with them. Just hasn't been something that's happened for us yet, but that's okay.
No, you could technically say yes.
Now I can. Yeah, absolutely. I really like it. It came out great. Yeah, this was basically the idea: is we just need an 80s alien chick hitchhiking to Roswell. I mean, that's all we needed. And then I just wanted a nice, clean introductory shot for our lead here from Ricardo. Of course, he's the guy who does the interior of the book as well. So you get the, there's no bait and switch. And then Pedro, I knew, would kill it with a sort of an animation style throwback. I had him put so instead of Han Solo against the wall, I had her leaning up against Space Invaders and Missile Command. Obviously, there's little nods there. And then Keith Garvey's been doing these Nagel style covers for some other people, and I was like, this is the 80s, man. I mean, there's everything about this just screams the 80s. So give me one of those. And he was thrilled to do it. And it came out great. So that's what we got for you, everybody. Super easy campaign. Super duper easy campaign.
Yeah, most of our campaigns are pretty just straightforward. I mean, we're all about the work too. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what you're signing up for. It's exciting. I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll give you a little more inside baseball too. Something that has been, it was stressful this year, but actually really cool. When Diamond imploded this year, we were reached out to just individually and independently by a ton of stores that were like, hey, we love your books. How do we get your books? I actually met one of the guys from Midtown Comics at New York Comic Con. He's like, hey, we didn't get some of your books. We understand completely why we didn't get them. Diamond imploded. They don't exist anymore. We just need to make sure we get reorders. And that's been happening a lot, where we kind of realize, like, hey, we have a real footprint going on here, and people are really digging this stuff. So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's fun to be a part of it,
That's
it's fun not to create in a vacuum.
For sure. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. We've already got 5 backers on this already. And the Garvey is popped as the first of the variants to get sold.
Nice.
So people are digging on that. But yeah, no, it's always great. When a retailer is actively like, hey, look, we need what you're making, man. That's an amazing, pat on the back. That comic creators, we all talk about, we just make it for the love of comics, man. Yeah, but we also got to make some money on this stuff, or we can't.
We can't make these books.
Yeah,
can't make these books if we don't. Make some money to do it. So
that's it. So yeah, I love that. Did you say that was Midtown that was doing?
I mean, Midtown is one of the stores that was at New York Comic Con. But we just get email. We get emailed almost every day. It feels like with a retailer being like, oh, hey, there was some books that we ordered from Diamond, and obviously we never got them because Diamond doesn't exist anymore. We'd love to get the back order, or, hey, people really like your books, and how do we get them now? We actually go through Filbo, which is something, we'll talk offline. That might be something you might be interested in being a part of. Phil Russert does an amazing job stepping up to the plate for a lot of indie, comic publishers. I think you do really well with that too. We do really well with him, and he's doing a great job of he's only been around for 3 months now. But it's been a great experience with him. And then we also do a retailer portal directly with retailers as well too. So, the way I look at it, James and I talk about it, all the money we've spent this year trying to, in a very quick way, get ourselves back, into stores again and get ourselves kind of situated after the diamond mess.
Yeah.
I just look at it as like cost of doing business marketing. I mean, we've paid individual marketers before to try to get us the kind of footprint in shops that our books are now doing. Like our books are actually doing that job for us. And that's, at the end of the day, I'll take that.
A couple of NSFW buyers out there. We see you. We know who you are. Moving along. Are you guys not in the what do they call it? The Lunar, the Massive Indies? Are you guys just Filbo?
We're just Filbo right now, yeah.
Yep.
Massive Indies, we've reached out, we've had some conversations, and we'll see where that goes. We are in Lunar through SourcePoint for the graphic novels, though.
Oh, sure.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's been pretty exciting for the floppies. Yeah, we're gonna keep working on it. I mean, Dren itself has really expanded this year, which has been again, it's awesome. Like it's really cool. Like I joke with James, I'm like, hey, we're a real company, you know that? And aside from our Kickstarter fan base, which has always been strong and really is the reason we were able to weather the diamond storm in general. I mean, there's some companies that went under because they rely solely on retail. They don't have a Kickstarter footprint. They don't have a Kickstarter presence, and it's a different audience.
Yeah.
But we signed with an agency this year too, Greenwood Lit agency, signed us in June to help kind of take our stuff to the next level as well too. And so we're actually, like I said, we're a real company. We're doing real things. It's pretty cool. It's fun because I still get to do Sire. The next issue, like I said, will be out in early 2026. I usually average about 3 issues a year with that. Love to do more, but I also have other projects too that I'm doing, and it's all kind of thanks to the community that we've kind of built around through Dren and through Kickstarter and now through retail chains.
So what I just heard is that you hired an agent so that we can make a Plan 39 movie. That's what I just heard.
I'd love to. Yes. We'll see how good she is.
Oh my gosh. So guys, 7 backers already, including some Greg Bow stuff. Got any questions? Let me know. Otherwise, we're going to hop out of here in just a few minutes and let y'all get about your day so we can start posting about this thing.
Oh, I'm already ahead of you. I'm already posting.
Oh, he's posting. He's doing it.
Posting.
He's everywhere. No cons the rest of the year for you? I'm done. I know I'm done.
I'm done for the rest of the year. Conventions, I don't know if it's been the same for you. You did C2E2. We had done C2E2, 2 years ago, and we've just noticed it's not with the travel expenses being what they are, it's not worth the trip anymore. We're going to end up doing some smaller shows. There's a small show in Princeton, New Jersey that, I'm New York based. So
yeah,
New York Comic Con is just, even though New York Comic Con is not what it used to be for me, sales wise, it's great for networking. It's great for just catching up with folks.
Yep.
And it's my hometown show. I really can't not do it in that sense. But we're going to do some smaller shows going forward.
What about San Diego? You guys doing
San Diego? I always do, but we don't. It's funny. Dren may have a booth.
Okay.
Rogue Matter, the company I'm still doing some stuff with as well too. We have I have 2 graphic novels going to be in bookstores next year. One is called Time Trader. The other is Roman's Rise. Actually, wait, 3. I co-wrote Lena's Fury also. So I have 3 projects through them. They may have a booth next year. Dren may have a booth, but I will definitely be in San Diego. I love going out there. It's where I think it's become, where it's the one show everyone makes it a point to go to.
Yep.
So from a B2B, from a, publisher to publisher, creator to creator,
yep,
I get to catch up with a lot of folks out there. And so I will definitely always be there personally. Whether or not we have a presence on the floor, we'll see.
Yeah, same. I'll be back at San Diego for the first time in like 10 years almost, 8 years, something like that. Crazy. I think it's been that long, but I will be back again. Same thing. I don't know that we're going to be boothing it, but I'm going to be there to roam and, shake hands and kiss babies and, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's definitely what it's all about. It's that show still feels like a comic show. It still feels. Look, I know everyone will be like, "Oh, it's not. It's a movie show." I get it, but it still feels like what Comic-Cons were when I started doing Wizard World shows many, many years ago. And look, having the studios behind does make a huge deal. It doesn't translate necessarily to sales in stores, but it gets people excited about stuff. I've definitely met folks at conventions that might have gone there for their William Shatner autograph, who then turned into people who that will email me and be like, "I really liked your book. Where's the next one? How can I get it?" And that kind of stuff is pretty priceless. So it's just I mean, you can't beat it in San Diego, right?
Yeah, right. And like you said, it is the only show. Let me say that again. The only show where all of the publishers show up.
Yes.
Marvel's there, DC's there, Dark Horse, Dynamite, Aspen, Zenescope, like they're all there. So if you as a fan or as a potential, like, I want to work for these people type of person, that's the only place where you can sort of like cross the aisle and, be at another publisher and another publisher and another publisher, big, large, whatever. So obviously you're not going to get too far with Marvel and DC with their booths, but understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those guys are not at any other shows. So it is a unique place in the comic book world still because of that.
Yep.
And I think that's sort of where my brain is at now. It's like, look, I've been doing this for a while. I've worked for a bunch of other companies now. I've worked for Aspen. I've worked for Dynamite. Now I'm working for you guys. I can do what these guys need to get done. So let me go talk to some of these guys and see if I can, spread the wealth around a little bit beyond just what I do for myself. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's sort of my plan next summer is to get out there and make sure everybody remembers that I'm still around, even though,
that's the key too, right?
Yeah. Especially since we haven't been in comic book stores, the Diamond or any other way, for like 8 years. And so we definitely, whenever I go to cons, and people see that we have big banners and big booths and like tons of stuff and stuff they've never seen just at C2E2, people were like, what's this? I thought you guys were gone. Like, I'm like, no, we just do it a different way. But there's definitely a segment of the comic book buying public that is like, I go to the comic book store and this is how I know what exists. And that's all they do. So, we got to remind people that Big Dog exists and that we've been doing stuff and there's a ton of work that they have to catch up on. Thankfully, Antarctic Press has been putting us back on stores with Critter, which has been a wild success through them.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you're going through Antarctic for that. Okay.
Yeah, and that was just like a fluke. It was just, I was on a podcast with Ben Dunn over and over again, and he kept saying like, yeah, we're just looking for content, like for their anthologies and stuff.
I got you.
So I was like, well, here, take this. Here's a little short story. Put it in one of your anthologies. He was like, yeah, awesome, great. So we did that. I paid for a cover for them to do it, so they'd put my character on the cover of the anthology and stuff. And it did well. And I was like, so what if I just gave you a series that has like already 25 issues in the can? You released it every other month. You've got, 4 years of, not late books because it's all done. And you guys can just run with it. And I'll same thing. I'll just give you some covers. And they were like, yeah, this is great. I think this would fit in with our fan base really well, because it's a Catgirl anime thing, and Antarctic Press has that sort of reputation. And it's been great. It's been unbelievable. It's the third printing of this book.
Wow.
And people are still reading it like it's something brand new and they're excited about it. So,
right.
And then they come to the cons.
It's new for them,
That's right. That's it. And they come to the cons and they see like Critter 25 and they're on like Critter number 7. And they're like, wait a minute. What did I miss? How did this happen? I'm like, well, let me tell you the story of Big Dog Inc. and how this Critter book has fluctuated through all these publishers and it's still finding a new audience. And that is tremendous to me, that we can keep putting this book out and people are still finding it. When I was at Akron Comic-Con this past weekend, people were flooding to Critter. They were like, "Oh my God, I know what this is." Like either they had
Yeah.
seen it and had fallen out on it,
Yep.
or they had seen it somewhere else, like the AP, where they were like, "Oh my God, Critter, you have all this Critter stuff." I'm like, "Yo, this is happening."
Yeah.
And then they see like we have an action figure, and it just changes the perception of the
Yeah.
company. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I think if like you said, you went and got this sort of management sort of thing to kind of help push you to
Yeah.
the next level. I kind of feel like that's where I'm at right now. It's like I just need somebody to come in and be like, "All right, you have the foundation. Let's level it up."
We have the IP together, both of us. We have the IP, and that's sometimes that's the hardest thing.
Mhm.
And now you've had momentum, and we have momentum, and it's once you get the two combined, you can make a run at something. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you can make a run, and that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you at San Diego, if nothing else. Maybe
we've talked about we applied for MegaCon.
Okay.
MegaCon is packed, though. It's booked, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So we're on a wait list for that. Part of me, I'm flirting with the idea of doing C2E2 again, but at the very least, yes, San Diego for sure.
What about Heroes Con? Do you guys go down that way?
I did Heroes Con a long time ago. Real big artist show. Yep. How did you guys do it as Big Dog? Because we went down there one time and it just wasn't as
well. We went as Big Dog in the early years, like the first two years of our existence. And the first time we were in Artist Alley, we were kind of buried. It was okay. Second time we had a booth, so we were more visible. It got better. But at that time I was seeing better stuff happening at other events.
Sure.
And so we just kind of were like, well, we'll get back to this one, but I just never have. And same thing. I've had people always tell me like, yeah, it's a great artist show. But I have had people recently telling me that they are going in and it's becoming a comic con again. Like they're there for comics.
Yes.
Now, whether that translates to what we do, that's still another question.
Yeah.
But the idea that it's moved from art show to some aspect of comics again, that's a plus. Like I almost went last year, but there were other events and they got back to me too late. I was like, I'm already booked up somewhere else. So since I haven't been there in a long time, and the same thing with Baltimore, we went back to Baltimore last year, and Baltimore it was really great.
Baltimore is still a great show. It's always been a great show. And it's very comic book centric, comic book centric.
Yeah.
Problem with Baltimore now is not the show, it's Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think that to me was they used to do it a little earlier. Now they do it later. And I think it's actually a hindrance, because if you can get the kind of traffic that might go see an Orioles game that same weekend, you'll get people in the Inner Harbor. The Inner Harbor is not what the Inner Harbor used to be, which is unfortunate. It sucks. Yeah. It really went downhill. I mean, I remember back in the 2000s, Inner Harbor was like, that's a, oh man, let's go to Baltimore Comic-Con, and we definitely want to hit the Inner Harbor up. That's a great spot. A lot more tourism. And now that's the problem with that show, because that show is amazing. It's run amazing. It has everybody. It's a who's who for comic book, creators. And, but it's a show that James did it. He actually just walked around. He's like, I'm not even gonna bother getting a booth now at this point, just because it just wasn't worth it. We did it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, something like that. And it just, I'm in the point of my life. I got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I'm coaching basketball and baseball constantly. So I will get back to doing more shows when they are A, more profitable, and B, when I actually have a minute free. I think that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start dipping into some of the places I haven't been in a while, because I think there'll be some value there. Again, remind people that we exist. That's sort of the key. So, we'll talk about stuff, especially like C2E2 and so on, and see what we can do. And by we should have probably by C2E2 time, issue 2 of this will be somewhere either have happened or in the process of happening. Sometime next spring, we'll have issue 2 ready to go for you guys. But
Yep.
in the meantime, Plan 39 from Outer Space is live right now. It's been live for about a half an hour. Jump on, grab books, tell your friends, share the links. You guys know the business. And we appreciate all of that help and that assistance. And I'm getting messages from people now. So
Nice.
we're gonna let you guys go. Anybody that's going to be at Grand Rapids this weekend, I'm going to be down there tomorrow, roaming around. So if you want to say hi or grab lunch or whatever, find me at Grand Rapids. And then otherwise, I think the next con might be C2E2.
When is that, in April?
Us. Usually it's like April-ish, yeah, unless they, monkey around with it a little bit again. But usually it's April.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was thinking, I just love going there. I love that show. It is a great show. So it's something I have to think about if financially it makes sense to do it. We won't end up with a big corner booth. I can tell you that. I'll see if maybe Artist Alley's available for anything, and if not, Small Press is usually a pretty decent thing.
Yep, that's the truth. All right, good to see you, man. Thanks for talking.
Thank you,
guys. Plan 39 from Outer Space. You can get Plan 59 and 79 with it as well. Go get your stuff. It's a brand new Planiverse. Get in before we make the movie, because then you'll never find these books. We'll see you later.